Hello guys, welcome to the final session of the HTML series. So this will be our last class in this HTML series, as I've said, and I hope we've learned a lot in HTML so far, and we're able to structure our pages, write our markup, and structure our web pages well with the HTML knowledge we have. The next part will be CSS, but before we go into the next part, we'll have a little bit of projects. We'll build a website using just HTML alone, so we can build up muscle memory, and then after we've done that, we'll go into CSS. So I just want to wrap up this session with this topic, which is very important in HTML, especially in HTML5, and it's HTML semantic tags. So let's get into it. A semantic element clearly describes its meaning to both the browser and the developer. So HTML5 added all these tags basically just to structure your page better. And this is a picture that shows us how they work and what they do. So the header is basically where you can put in your logo, your social media links, and brand name and etc. And the nav, that's also the known as the nav bar, where you can have links to different pages in your website. And the section is basically just where we can put in text, a portion of text for your home page. And then we have the article tag. Let's say you have like a blog, you can put in article tags around each post in the blog. And we have the side. That's the side. If you have a sidebar content, you can put it there as well. And then we have footer. So here we can put in our copyright, maybe privacy policy links, etc. So that's basically the HTML semantic tag. So let's create a new HTML page. Let's just go here. Let's create a new document. So let's call it the blog.html. Then I can just pull that inside here, and then open up our so we'll use the HTML5 semantic tags to structure it. So let's start. Let's go into it. Just say HTML and to give us everything. And I've not talked about these meta tags. The meta char sets. The meta tags are basically is a tag that describes your website and also helps to increase access as well. So this attribute here is basically talking about character encoding. You don't have to know what that means. It's just character encoding. It's basically computer science stuff. So but for this one, you can understand what this means. It's talking about viewports. That's like the screen, how we see our websites once we load it. So we're saying here that this is basically saying that the width of the site should be exactly the device's width. So whatever device it is should be the device's width. And then the initial scale here is talking about zoom. Sometimes some sites when you enter it is as if it is already zoomed in by default, and some sites when you enter it as if it's already zoomed out. So things are very, very small. You have to like double click it so it will be responsive to respond to the width of the device. So what happened there was like they either increase this or decrease this at their discretion. So let's get into it. So let's call this my blog. So we're building a blog site, and then we can now start with our semantic tags. So let me just put this down a little. So let's use header. So header, and then we can also put in a heading inside it. So and let's call it my website. So that's basically our header. So let's put in this section, and then inside here we're going to put in the article tag where we wrap in our blog post. and then inside it we put in a heading 3, and we call it blog, let's say post 1, blog post 1. So we can also have a small tag. A small tag, it basically makes your text smaller, just to it's sort of a reference tag somehow. So it just makes your text smaller. Let's say small tag, and let's just say posted by James on August 18. So now we can also let's now put our blog post, like as in our text paragraph, and then we'll say lorem tab. So we generate some dummy text, and okay, let's also put in an attribute. Let's call this let's just put in a class and say posts. So we can save that, and then we'll duplicate it. Sorry. So we have 3 posts now. So let's call this blog post 2, and I'll call this blog post 3. So if we save it and we reload, now we can see our website. So this is the header, the section, this section. Inside section we have an article where we put in a blog post. We have another article, So we can see that even without CSS, we can see that it has been able to style or to structure our website very well. So we can see our website is looking a bit more structured. It's looking better than just using divs and all the rest. So this is the power of the HTML semantic tags. So let's also put in maybe you want to read more. So let's put around an anchor tag. Let's just put in hash symbol. This is just saying that we're not going anywhere. So let's see, read more. Can just copy this and put it here as well. Put it here too. Save, and then we reload. The reason why it's on the it's below is because it's a block level element. So they take up a new line. So let's also have a sidebar. So let's put in a side, and inside here we put in let's just say we have a category. Just say categories, and then inside here we put in a list, say URL, and then say li, and let's wrap it around an anchor tag, because this is basically going to be a nav bar. So we can just even wrap it around a nav bar. So wrap it around a nav. These are basically supposed to be tabbed. Yeah. So we put an anchor tag around the list items. Like I said in the previous videos. Okay, let me put it first. And then we just put hash, means we're not going anywhere. We're just going to be in the same page. So and we can just say category 1. So we have 3 categories. So we put that 3 times, and then if we save and we reload, now we can see the category. So basically this is meant to float to the side. you know, since it's a nav bar, so we use lists, like I've talked about in the previous video. We use lists to create our nav bars, so we float them. And yeah, so let's also make a footer, and then we can just put in paragraph and just put in our copyright and say, okay, we can also put in that symbol like a C with a circle. But to do that, we use the ampersand copy with a semicolon, and let's just say 2017, 2022. Let's say my website. Save, and we reload. Now you can see this copy symbol. So that's basically what this does. So you don't have to cram it. You can always get the other ones you need, maybe trademark and the rest. You can get them online. You can get the symbols for them online. And basically, you have to know that when the more you do, the more you code, the more you get muscle memory. You remember all these things. You don't have to start cramming tags. As you code, the important ones to use, and any other thing you can just go on Google and get. Google will be your best friend when we are doing web development. And we have W3 Schools is a great place for you to learn more in web development. You have Stack Overflow, where you can ask questions and meet developers worldwide that will help you in, maybe you're stuck somewhere. There are a lot of documentation, there are lots of aids, forums you can join to help you in your web development. Of course, you have me as well. You can also ask me anything you don't understand. So, that's basically it. So if I save and reload, so I'll just like to put in some little styling in this site just to make it a little bit more better. Although CSS is basically for the next part, I'll just put it here to make it look a little bit better. So let me just put an ID here in the header tag. I want to tag onto this header. So I put in an ID. I'll tag onto it with CSS. So I say main header. You can call it anything you want. It's your ID. And also put in for the footer ID. Say main footer. You can call it anything you want. This is just what I like to call it, because it's basically the only header I have, so I can call it main header. So to put in style, to do CSS, we basically use an external file. But there are different ways we can put CSS in our websites. We can do it externally, internally, and there's another one called inline. So the inline style is very, very unprofessional. The internal style is archaic. You don't really want to put your website internally. The external style is the standard way of doing your CSS. So I'm going to use the internal style, and you put it inside your head tag. So we use the style tag, then inside it we start to tag on to our IDs or tags to style them. So I want to style this website header here. So I'll say this is the ID for header. So I'll take this ID. To take it, we use the hash symbol. So I'll say hash main header, and then put in some curly braces and open it, and inside it we are now putting my style. You don't have to understand this. When we get to CSS, you understand everything. So I want to put this website to the center. I'll say text align center. If I save and reload, now it's at the center. So I can also say let's say background color. Background, we can just choose it. Background color, let's say navy. If I save, I see now it is navy. But you can see the way it is looking. That's because basically every element on the on the website is a box. Everything, this one is a box, this one is a box, this one is everything is a box. So you have to style it the way you want it. So we'll put in some styling to make it look better. So let's first change the color of the, because it's dark. So let's say color, let's say white. If I save and reload, now you can see it's white. And then let me also put in some padding. So that there is default space here between the header and the top of the page, and that's what the browser does by default. You can use your developer tools. You know, if you go F12, you see all the styling that the browser has put. So let me put in padding. You don't have to understand this now. When you get there, you understand it. So padding. Now you can see it's looking better. It's looking better. So let's also do for the footer down here. So let's put in hash and we tag on to the ID main footer. Then we put in the curly braces and see, let's just put text align as well, center. Let's also put font size. Want to increase the size of the font size. Let's say 18 pixels. So if I save and reload, I can see it's bigger. So let me also put background color. Let's put the one as that we use for our header as well. Let's say navy. Save. Now you can see it. Also, let's make the space between the text a bit wider. So let's say padding, or make this one not so big. So let's say 5 pixels. So if I save and reload, now you can see it's looking better. Oh, let's also put the color of the text is dark, so white. Save and reload. So now our web page is looking better. So let's get to let me talk about the meta tags. So the meta tag basically just describes the website. If I put in the meta tag, you won't see any change here in the look. It's basically for the browser to read and do its function. So it basically describes a website and also helps increase access. So let's talk about let's do a meta here. Let's say meta. Let's say, and I will put in the name of the meta I want to do. So if we say name, so I want to use meta description. So this is basically to describe our web page. Then we now put in a content. Then we say, okay, what is the description of this website? Let's say a blog by James. So let's also put in another one, and let's say the name. Let's say now this one want to put in keywords. Or put in the content. And let's just, okay, now we can now put in as many keywords as we want. And basically what happens here is that the browser reads it. It also helps maybe like Google to bring up your website on the search engines. So if I say web design, comma, we use comma to separate it. You can put as much as you like. Web design, blog. There are many strategies to write content of in terms of keywords, so that when they search for it, they will see your site first. Web design blog. You can put James. You can put the name of your agency or name of your company. Let's just say James May agency, comma, let's say weblog agency, and you can put in as many as you like. So that's basically it about the meta tag. So let's look at it in our website. If I save and reload here, you won't see any change here, but you see if I press Ctrl U. Now let's look at the code in our browser. Now you see you can see it here. The browser has it here. So whenever it is running, it will scan it, and whenever people type search content, if it tallies with it, it will bring it up. So that's it. So let's link this website to our former HTML sheet, the one we started with in the beginning of the course that we used throughout. So let's just put in a, okay, let me put it on under the header. Put it under the header. I'm just a okay, let me put an anchor tag, and then we can say, and then we'll put in the name of the file, because you can see that we want to link this page to this page, and they are in the same directory, so we can just put in the name of the file directly. So we put in index.html, and then we'll just say, put in it, let's say go to index page. So if I save and then I reload, now you can see it here. You can see it here, and if I click on it, what happens? It goes to our index page. So can you see? That's how it works. You can link pages locally as well. So if I go back, so let's put in the link here too, so that we can go to so we can also go to that one. So we can also go to the blog page. So I'll open this page, and then I'll open this one, and I'll put it here as well. Where do I want to put it now? Let me put it on top of the header. So let's put it here. Say A, and put blog.html, and say go to blog. Let me just put in a break line here, and also let me put another one here. On the horizontal row. So if I reload now, if I save, oh okay, I understand. I have to open this one. So now you can see it here, because the reason why it didn't work is because I went there through here, so not through here, so it wasn't going to reload on that page. So we can go to blog, then we can go to index, we can go here, and we can style all these things with our CSS, make it look very fine, and yeah, so that's basically it. So that brings us to the end of the HTML series, and I'll see you guys in the CSS class next time.